I'm gonna level with you guys. After years of skipping over this toy line, I more or less just went to a store the other day and said, you know what? I think I need to go all in on this line, because hey, that's me. That's my weird, more than likely on the spectrum brain. From McFarlane Toys, this is the DC Superpowers line. It is a tribute line to the old Kenner Superpowers line. These figures aren't exactly one for one with the Kenner ones. They're more kind of in the style of, kind of similar to a lot of the Hasbro, WWF tribute lines we've looked at on the channel before. And like I said, I've skipped them over for quite a while, mostly just because I thought, nah, they're not really for me. And then over the course of a few days, I've got most of the toy line and 3 of the vehicles, because that's where I'm at in life. So I figured, why don't we make some reviews? At least we can kind of look at them together, and we'll start off with the Trinity, because after all, you can't have DC without Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. Take a look at the packaging, and like, it's decent. Like, I like the art here on the side, even though that's not, like, it's weird. They more or less just took their blue Batman and then edited him to look more like the Kenner Batman. I say Kenner. This is totally supposed to be like the 1989 Tim Burton Batman, which I'm fine with. I like that costume, and I like it in this style. And on the back, you can see you have like a checklist of all the figures. As you can see, they got to 21. They have a new wave coming out in the next few weeks, so like, they're doing pretty well for themselves. I had the Batmobile, had the Invisible Jet. I also had the Supermobile. And then they have a little description of Batman as a character over here on the side. So that's cool. The ones that we're specifically looking at are the 1989 all-black Batman, their standard Wonder Woman, and then their new 52 Superman, just because this is the version of the 3 I was able to actually find in stores. Why don't we start with Superman, and then we'll work through the other 2. Looking at the Superman first, I'm honestly kind of surprised. So I don't own any of the Kenner Superpowers figures, right? I've seen them, I think they look great, I haven't collected them, I want to. But just holding this figure, like, there's a decent heft here, the plastic feels pretty solid. You have a decent range articulation, you have a swivel at the head, swivel at the arm, swivel here at the thigh, and a knee joint. So, what would that be? 7 points of articulation, which is more than I was expecting, to be honest. You also have the cloth cape. There's a metal ring in this cape, so the cape can come off, but it slips right back on, and it stays on pretty well. Here, let me get that on, and then doop, 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 doop. Stays on pretty well. What I really enjoy is they remembered that. They remembered the yellow S on the cape. I don't know why, but for some reason, toy makers love to cut out the yellow S on Superman's cape. The only other figure I have of Superman with that S is my NECA Christopher Reeve Superman. So I was kind of flabbergasted seeing that as I was pulling him out of the box. So I'll be honest, this is a $10 figure. $10. It's weird because I think of, like, to my childhood, I'm like, well, $10, that's too much for a figure this size. It should be like $5. But for today's toy economy, $10 for this figure is not bad, because you got a decent amount of paint. It stylistically is at least interesting, and it's quality material. So I can live with that when it comes to this Superman. My question is, can it stay consistently impressive with the other 2? Wonder Woman next, and they did include a cape. I actually like that. I prefer Wonder Woman with a cape, so I do enjoy this red cape. Same range of articulation. The hair does slightly get in the way, but not too badly. And then at the arms, at the hips, and at the knee, good amount of paint to get the gold on the costume, as well as her silver gauntlets. The cape does come off, but you do have to wrestle with it just a bit because of the hair. So, oh, wow, here, one sec. You have to really wrestle with it, but it does come off, and then you can get it back on, but you're going to have to wrestle it. I will point this out. On Wonder Woman, unfortunately, there is a little bit of staining from the cape. I think I can live with that because it's so faint, but do be aware of that. The cape will stain the figure, unfortunately. With all that said, I do like the Wonder Woman. I do wish, because you see she has the open hand, I wish she had a sword, or preferably the lasso of truth. I know that Nightwing comes with his batons in this line. I don't know why he's the only one who seems to get accessories. It would have been nice to get something with Wonder Woman, just because when I think of her, I think of the sword, I think of the shield, I think of... the biggest thing I think of is the lasso. So, wish we had it. Not a deal breaker that we don't. And then finally we had Batman, sporting one of my favorite looks for him ever, that being his Michael Keaton all black with the yellow logo look. So the cape on him is interesting, because you have extra material to work with, and it's so that you can get the cape more over his shoulders if you want, but then you could also fold it back and have it entirely behind him. It does make the top of the cape look a little bit more unsightly than, say, Superman's, but I kind of like the fact that they thought about how Batman will usually hold his cape more like this. So I think it's nice. I wish there was a more elegant solution, but it's a good idea. Articulation's the same. You can see they did get his gauntlet spikes down here. I actually don't know. What do we call those? And then the head sculpt looks decent. The body looks fine. It honestly just looks like a lot of the Kenner Batman that I've seen before of the Michael Keaton. And I'm not complaining. I think that's a good look to go for. And this wasn't their first release Batman. They've done a blue Batman. They did like more traditional Batman. This is like number 5 of the decos. So I like it. It's obviously the one I went with, given all the options. But there are more traditional Batman if this maybe just isn't your style. I'll be honest, there's been a legacy of good pocket money DC figures, right? I'm thinking about the Justice League Unlimited line that I grew up collecting. Even right now, you have Spin Masters doing their best to make a, you know, somewhat decent 5-inch DC line, with middling results, to be honest. These guys, I enjoy. I think that they're a good little lineup. $10 a figure. A lot of them are going on sale, so you can get a lot of them closer to $7, $8. I think they're good. I think I can see where the money is. They're little pocket money toys. They look halfway decent. They have a unified style. They have a decent character range. So, color me impressed. I don't know if I would necessarily say I've been sleeping on this line, but it's definitely a lot more impressive than I would have thought just looking at it passingly in the toy aisle. And I'm kind of glad I'm going to see just how consistent they are throughout the entire line, because this Trinity is a decent Trinity for the money I paid, for what they are going for. I don't see how they could have done much better, short of maybe giving a little bit more paint and getting Wonder Woman that lasso of truth.